They just took like 8 of them, bro.
No, just 3.
18.
Right to the dome.
I had 18 of them, man.
Dude, you got a Starbucks coffee in your hand. What happened this morning? You wake up early or something? What's going on? Turning over a new leaf because it's 8 a.m. I mean, this means my projections are correct. It means you woke up at like 6.
y'all be really acting like I wake up at like 9 or 10. It's usually like 8 if we don't have a podcast, 8 or 7:30. But yeah, no. Dog's been having me have to get up at 6 because got to feed him, got to let him out, and do all that before I get here. So.
Sounds like the dog's running the house already.
Kinda. Yeah, but he's a joy. He's a joy.
What's he do that's fun or funny? Like,
What's he do that's fun or
funny? Is the dog doing some like funny shit where you're just playing with him and it's kind of cool?
Yeah. He's super nippy. So like he gets too excited right now, like too excited. So when he starts getting really, really excited, he'll start to like chomp. So I had to like have something in hand, so I just put it in his mouth, like bite that, not me, right?
Right.
He's never like he's never broken skin or anything, and he's good. But yeah, he's a wild one.
When you get home, does the dog act like it's the first time it's ever seen you? Every single time.
Yeah, he's
fucking runs like my dog. Well, it's tiny, but it will like jump on the couch and like run around in circles, and then jump on the couch again, then run around in circles. And you're like, what is this ritual that you have every time you see me? I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah,
no one else is this excited to see me.
Yeah, and since I'm only gone for a few hours, like I put him in a crate. I'm trying to crate train him right now, so it's pretty big and he feels pretty comfortable. But yeah, when I get in, he's like, he starts going in a circle in his crate, and then I let him out, and he starts just jumping. I let him outside. But I found out something pretty cool. I was looking up some videos, and someone was like, "You need to get a laser pointer." And I thought that was only something that worked with cats, but it works with dogs too. So I was just like having him he just chases that thing. Once he sees it, he's just like, huh, huh, huh. He just fucking zips around chasing a laser pointer around, and I can just finally just like chill a little bit as I'm making.
He thinks like one day I'm gonna catch that shit.
He really does. He really does. It's awesome to see.
Has he gotten like overly excited to where he like starts peeing everywhere?
That hasn't happened.
That's good.
No, that hasn't happened. But he has peed on like in the house twice yesterday.
I think pee is worse, because
it smells so bad.
I mean, like if they have like a
diarrhea
shit that's a mess,
bad.
yeah, that's a nightmare. But like, it's just so obvious they took a shit there. Pee, like they, you might have been taking a shit yourself, and they might have peed somewhere, and then like, you have somebody over the house, and like your house stinks, or something, it's like, oh man, or you leave the room for a while and you come back and you're like,
You're absolutely right. That actually is the worst because it's like, dude, my house is clean, but dog pissed and like we missed it. Now it's like under the rug, and it's like we're gonna do floors, but yeah, we just have to deal with it for right now. And then if you're in it for a while, your nose doesn't it doesn't recognize it anymore. So like when we would go on trips somewhere, back when we were able to do that sort of thing, when I'd come home, I'd be like, damn, babe, like we got to do something. Like, so we'd get like a shampoo or something and try to fix it. Yeah. But yeah, it's
kind of like Nsima's farts when we're podcasting. Like I'm so used to it at this point, I don't even really notice much change in cabin pressure.
Yeah, I really be blasting back here, and I just look at you sometimes like he doesn't know. This cabin is great.
Pressure. Oh my god,
you don't realize
Mark
it.
Practicing his stoicism now.
The shit, I really be farting so much back here. I really hold it in when I try to hold it in when we have guests, but
the new podcast we have a filter.
We do?
We have a filter system. Yeah,
it's
gonna blow it right over towards Andrew.
We should have like holes in the seats so that if a fart just goes through something and just goes right out the room
and amplifies the sound, so everybody knows what's going on. That'd
be awesome.
Oh god, that'd be great.
What do we got for today? We're going to be talking about some secrets.
Some little stuff that we don't really tell people.
You guys
about.
got secrets?
Oh, lots.
Dark secrets.
Oh. Lots of skeletons in this closet. But those aren't the type of secrets we're going to talk about today.
Oh.
Just little tricks.
Yeah.
Tricks of the trade.
Yeah, I'd say things that like are so habitual that we don't even think about them anymore, right? Like,
and we do talk about this one a lot, but we, just adding salt to your food, and that's kind of a secret weapon of ours, but we've talked about it a lot. Stan Efferding brought it to the forefront with a lot of great information, and we're sponsored by Element, so we always plug those guys, and they got great products. And sitting on the desk right now, we have an unflavored one. We have, I think, like a lime one, a chocolate one, a pink lemonade one. Raspberry. They're all really, really good. So
the raspberry flavor hits different now that we know where raspberry flavor might come from.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that ass every single time I drink it. we need context. Mark, can you just remind the people why I just said what I said?
Beaver's asshole.
There we go. That's why I said that, guys.
Yeah. So Mark.
Oh, they have orange too. I forgot. That's my favorite one.
That's I was on the what's the green one?
Citrus.
And now I'm over to the orange salt. That one tastes so good. It's so flavorful. Oh, so
but
good.
orange is amazing.
Yeah, and there's a super easy way for you guys to try them out right now for free. Just go to drinklmnt.com/powerproject and claim your free Element Recharge Pack. They're going to give you 8 samples. I'm pretty sure that's like all their flavors, and yeah, you get them absolutely free. You just got to pay for the $5 shipping. Even if you are already a fan of Element, maybe this is a way to try out a different flavor that you might not have ventured out to, to do so. Again, drinklmnt.com/powerproject.
It is World Carnivore Month, so whenever you're doing a low-carb diet, you need those electrolytes, you need that salt to get in there. Other things that we do that we don't really talk about a ton, but we have mentioned on the show before, especially the mouth tape. Taping your mouth shut when you're sleeping, by most accounts that we've heard and, things that we've experienced ourselves, it can help improve your sleep. We're supposed to be nasal breathing when we're sleeping. It's going to help with some efficiency. If you feel like you have stuffed up nasal passages, there's a lot of techniques you can use to try to alleviate that, but you can also use like a breathe right strip to help open up those nasal passages a little bit more if you feel like your nose is too small to do something like that. But just give it a try. We know how wacky it sounds. It sounded crazy to us, but all 3 of us commit to it. All 3 of us do it. I don't do it every single night. There's some nights where I just don't feel like doing it, and I just don't do it. But I do it almost every single night, and I have been for a while. That's how I know that something is has some good legs to it, because then why would I do it? If it's not working, why would I do it?
And for you, let me ask you this: over time of you using the mouth tape and then sleeping without it, usually when I sleep without it, it's because I forget, and then I wake up in the morning, I'm like, that sucks. But have you gotten better at breathing through your nose without mouth tape on because of all the mouth tape you've been using?
Yeah, I believe so. I think that while I'm sleeping, I'm noticing that I'm not waking up with like drool and stuff like that. And I don't think I snore, but I don't know. My wife's never complained about it. So, she used to complain about it when I was fatter. I was snoring then, but yeah, I don't think I snore anymore. So
yeah. And I did used to snore a bit too, but after I started using mouth tape, I did notice a difference. And usually when I don't use it, it's because maybe I'm too tired. I just fall into bed or I forget about it. The next morning, I'm not waking up with as much of a dry mouth, but I am noticing that I feel much better in the morning when I do use my mouth tape. I did get better quality sleep because my mouth was absolutely shut throughout the whole night.
Yeah, Stephanie will actually wake me up if I fall asleep without mouth tape, because it just leads to snoring instantly. And then she nudge me put your mouth tape on. I'm like, oh, sorry, okay. And then because I use the micro pore tape, I'm sitting there for 5 minutes trying to find the edge. I'm like, oh, come on, it's got to be here somewhere. I'm like, ah.
I'll send you a video, Andrew. I saw Dr. Rand did a doctor down in Los Angeles who does some TRT type stuff. Talked about the combination of using some TRT and using an anti-estrogen to potentially help with sleep apnea or snoring. But I didn't actually watch the video. I just saw it the other day, and I was I want to check that out and see what that's about, because I've never really heard that before. I've actually heard quite the opposite. I've heard that testosterone can kind of almost make it worse, just because it's helping you become bigger. And I think that's usually the main problem, is you have obstructed breathing. I think that's what sleep apnea is. I'm not even really sure, but anyway, that might be something that might be helpful.
Yeah, that makes sense. I gotta ask Stephanie if I was snoring any less when I was on TRT, because everything was awesome back then. So I'd have to hit her up and ask her, because it would make a lot of sense.
Dude, we just had James Nestor on the podcast. So if you guys, since we're talking about this right now, I have to plug that episode, because if you guys haven't listened to that yet, oh my goodness, it's
so good.
That episode is so solid on all the things we're talking about as far as breathing. The episode we did with Patch McEwen last year is another gold episode. Phil DeRue talks a lot about it, but I just purchased the Inspiratori muscle trainer. It's called the Breather Fit. There's the Breather, and then there's the Breather Fit. It's a little bit more expensive. It's black. You blow into it.
And that's all the time we have for today.
I wasn't even trying. I wasn't even trying. They're just different colors. There's a white one that's
the
lower.
The podcast is going to go through some changes really soon.
I wasn't even trying.
Why does it got to be black?
Actually,
How do
you
we
wonder.
always end up here?
No, but like it is kind of interesting. It's like the
It could have been any other color too, right? I mean,
it really could have been any other color, but they
right.
chose to make the thicker black, the
bigger
thicker
one?
the bigger one, the black one. I don't know why
the
they did that.
stronger one?
The extreme. Like
my wife has this thing that like you like rub your shoulder with, and it's like bright pink. And I'm like, why the fuck is it bright pink like that? I mean, it just looks like a sex tool.
Wait,
She's
what
like,
is it?
It's literally like a Kelly Starrett type of thing, like a a little thing with a little knob on it, where it's like pretty obvious that you use it to like for your shoulder and stuff. It's not a vibrator or anything like that.
But it looks like it could be one.
It's like hot pink. It's like who the fuck decided to make it that color?
I don't remember who got it for Christmas, but it's like one of those ones that like it's like a big hook. It's supposed to like be able to like get into your traps.
Those things are great.
It does work really well.
Theracane.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
So whatever this one was
thing's
called, the box had a chick and she was just like feeling everything, and it's just like, what is this? And then exactly, she's like looks like she's in the middle of a solid moan, and it's like vibration and like 5 speeds, and of course the color is like it has like a pink tip on it, and it's just like, okay, what is this? And of
Great
course,
marketing. That's what it is.
They're like,
wow,
hey,
my neck feels great.
yeah. So I think they're like, hey, this is supposed to be for your shoulder, but just a heads up, that hook can get other places too.
Hey, if you have an orgasm, your shoulder's gonna feel great.
Most likely, yes. Yes.
Nobody can argue with that.
Right?
Holy shit.
I mean, that's some science right there.
But the Inspiratori muscle trainer was really dope. It's really
You
dope.
already got it?
Yeah, I already got it. It
Damn.
came in the mail like in
Amazon
a day.
Prime.
Yeah, it came in the mail in a day. And okay, no jokes here, but there are different settings. You blow into it as hard as you can, inhale or exhale into it as hard as you can, and then you inhale as hard as you can through your mouth. And depending on the settings, you can actually not like you can feel your lungs expand, but you can feel the difficulty. And you're supposed to do it like for 10 breaths, and you can like afterwards you feel fatigued, like your breathing feels fatigued. So you're supposed to do it at morning and night. And I've been
Is it
doing
something they have in like medical? Like, do they have it like in hospitals? Is it a thing that you blow into and you can kind of?
There's
like,
a thing.
You're getting
yeah.
like feedback from it, right?
But this isn't one where you can see the feedback like those ones. This is just like it's literally a device like this, and you just blow into it, and you inhale and exhale into it. So you
we need
can't
to get a didgeridoo, right? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
The didgeridoo?
Yeah. That's the one that like makes that weird like sound.
I've never seen it. When it was mentioned, I haven't even.
Huge.
It's huge?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
That'd be sick. Using that thing all the time, and people are like, "What the fuck is it?" Like, it's so loud. Like,
oh yeah, yeah. Remember when like the World Cup and everybody was using those?
Yes. Was that?
It sounds
similar.
No. It sounds similar
We
to
need to
that,
mix-
but it has more bass.
you need to mix like all this stuff that we've had on the show into like one. Like we're super high on like THC and
Yeah.
CBD and THC and like all the different weird shit that we've heard.
Oh my
playing
God.
the fucking didgeridoo. And
That'd be sick.
I swear, like this is like beside the point. But for like the past week and a half, not this past week and a half, but a few weeks ago, it's like we were like getting high every other episode.
I love it.
I swear. Oh God, that was
it's
funny.
just for we're doing it for the people.
Yeah, we're just trying to help people see
It's
what
not.
works.
We don't want to be high.
No.
No, no. We're getting high for everybody else. That's another one of our secrets. We're high 24/7.
Scientific testing. Yeah.
I like a lot of. We're talking kind of about massager type things, and I like those. I think Compex makes one. There's a couple other units out there that are
the
great.
STEM
And-
units.
Well, the STEM units are great, but also just the. I don't know what they're even called. What did you call it earlier?
The percussive massager.
There we
that's
go.
right.
There we
Oh.
go. That's what I was thinking of. Those things are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And super convenient. I mean, they can be pricey, but they've come down in price quite a bit since about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the one that everybody goes to is like the Hypervolt, but this company Elkai, I think they have an Active X, and it's like almost as good, but it's only like $80.
How do you
wow.
spell it for the people? Alka.
ALKAI, I think. It's just Active X, but it's super cheap, and it's like, I mean, I love the Hypervolt. I use that thing often.
Me too, yeah.
But when I seen this one, I was like, just let me try. Because like when I have somebody over and they're just like, oh, what's that? And if anything over $100 is like, oh, that's, must be nice, right? But with this one, I was like, dude, this is a super cool alternative that not anybody, but like if you want one of these devices, don't fall for like the name brand ones that are like over, X amount of money because they have like this package included with it. This one is dope. It's called an Active X. I'll look it up, but it's super cheap and it works pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
I was just like blown away because I thought for sure it was going to be like, a piece of junk, but it was pretty dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A great like secret / tip is have someone work on you too, get some body work done. I don't do it that frequently. I don't think any one of us really do it that often, but it can be really, really beneficial, especially if you're somebody that's just getting, I would say like number one, you're just getting beat up here and there. Like you're training really hard and just elbows and knees and shit like that are just hurting. Getting an overall just general massage from a practitioner that's just decent is great. But I would also say that having had people on the podcast talking about like meditation and the value of just chilling for a while. I realized that a 90-minute massage could be expensive, or a 60-minute massage can be expensive, but I think the price that you're paying to relax like that for a while, I think is awesome. So, sports massage or Swedish massage where it's like deeper and you're like, ready to tap out all the time. Those are great too, and they have their application, but you might want to you're literally just paying to like chill. And I know that you could say, oh, well, I'll just take a nap, but you're not going to do that. You're not going to slow down. So having these appointments like that, I found that when I was doing yoga a while back, that was therapeutic to me, just to like calm down, just to like not do anything. Cause I don't really like to not do stuff. So I feel like I'm always doing something. And when I try to relax to watch Cobra Kai, I feel like I got to get up and practice my karate. Like, I feel like I need to like always be doing something, So if you feel like you're that kind of person, it might be a good weapon in your arsenal to just get a massage every other week or once a month or however much you can afford.
Can't remember the last time I got a massage, but they are really good every time I do get them.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? You're like, why don't I do? Every time you go, you're like, why don't I do this more? Every time you go, you're like, I should be doing this more often.
Yeah, massages are great. Real quick on the percussive massagers though, they're like super damn useful. The thing I like to do especially is hit the psoas hard. The psoas is the muscle here, and you're not usually able to get to that. But if you can dig your massager into that for a while, oh my god, it feels so good.
Yeah, and
that's a tough one. It's a tough one to do because you're like,
oh yeah, yeah.
And it was called the M1, not the Active X. Was the one that I was using. But the So Right thing,
I've never used that.
I've never used it. I watched.
You have one here, right?
Yeah. I've used it before. I like it a lot. I was actually using it last week and a half or so. I've been using it on and off, maybe a couple times a week, and it's been feeling really good. It is what I like about it is they made an aggressive product. A lot of times people make stuff that's like you're like, oh, you're gonna kind of feel, it's nothing like that. Like, this thing is agonizing, and there's kind of stages to it. And if you're somebody who's been mobile most of your life, and you're somebody who maybe hasn't gotten yourself like really tight and things like that, you might be totally fine on it the first time you use it. But for me, I'm starting up like more like on the upper abs and working my way down, because it's like, just to start out like completely laying and putting all your body weight on your psoas is like pretty wild and crazy. So I've been working my way down my abdomen, and I'm kind of like belly button-ish area and a little bit lower. And something I can do is I can keep my arms on the ground, and I can kind of like lean towards one side or the other and kind of determine how much pressure I'm going to put on it. Ideally, you'd like to just put your arms out to the side flat and just really like melt over top of the thing. And then once you get even more advanced than that, what you can do is you can kind of dig into one side more than the other. So you can offset the product and have it be, where it's in alignment, where it's only going to kind of hit more one side of you than the other. But I've been messing around with it, and I put it on like an incline bench even, and laid face down on the incline bench, and it had what was interesting about that is I was able to have my sounds funny. It looked like I was fucking.
Trying to picture
looks
it
like I was fucking the product. But I was just trying to make it have a baby, so we made a smaller one, right? But so I'm like kind of laying on it, but like I was able to just position myself to where it didn't hurt. So it's an amazing product, and it's not going to kill everybody the way it's killing me. I'm just super tight in those areas, but I think it's a great, like, why not give it a shot? And anyone with lower back pain, I think it's something that you really need to try out, because I think most people are tight there.
Yeah, I watch, not watch, but I've seen Settlegate, Josh Settledge, use that So Right thing. And I'm like, dude, how do you do it? And he just like couldn't really explain it, because he's like, you just basically lay down on it and cry. But when we had Bo Hightower in, he was like, where does it hurt on your back? And da-da-da. And so he just started jabbing me right in my stomach. I'm like, what are you doing?
With his hands?
Yeah. Oh, dude. He was like Homelander, when he like.
You got to watch The Boys if you haven't.
I've never seen it.
It's so good. It's definitely worth watching. But because Amazon's weird, like they will play like the newest season for no reason, and they won't go back to anyways.
That's why you got messed up, isn't it?
That's why I was like, dude, I don't understand why people like this show. Like nothing makes sense.
What's the show? Homelander?
The Boys.
The Boys.
Oh.
He started on season 2.
Yeah, because I was like,
accident.
I've never watched this. Hey, Amazon, don't do that.
Is that like a superhero movie
Sort of.
show?
I mean,
Or
it is.
They got superpowers or something, right?
Yeah.
I think I've seen some of it.
But
It's
there's
really
a twist.
good.
Like
I haven't
heroes,
seen a lot of it. I just only seen a little bit.
The
Yeah.
heroes aren't the good guys. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It's really good. You
Twisty.
gotta watch it.
Anyway,
But you're saying Bo Hightower?
So Hightower just jabbed his hand into my gut, and then he was like, all right, move around. I'm like, whoa, like I do feel better, but it went away really fast. So I
The
don't.
feeling of goodness? Or,
Yeah, like
oh.
like everything kind of came roaring back like within like a couple, like about an hour. So I tried doing it again to myself, and I couldn't. I didn't figure it out.
Speaking of Bo Hightower,
Smart.
I've been talking with Bones Jones. Bones Jones asked me to make a product for him, so we're in the works. We're making a product for him. It's just something just to send to him. I don't have any intentions of like collaborating with him on anything unless he wanted to. That would be cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But he and I were going back and forth, and I tease him a lot about the podcast because he doesn't want to do it, and so I still like relentlessly drop it in there here and there, and I'm like, so like you're gonna do the podcast, like I say it here and there, and he's like, no man, I've been just chilling, like I feel good, like I don't really like speaking publicly and these kinds of things, and so he kind of wrote back and kind of like was like almost like pitch me on something, and I'll see what I can do. But basically he said that when he fights again that he'll come on the show.
Oh my God.
So I think that's pretty sick.
Oh shit.
But I really like, for me personally, like came a little bit.
Yeah.
For me personally, I don't really have a desire to I don't have a desire to talk to him a lot specifically about like fighting. And I think the questions that we would ask him would be way different. And so that's what I've been trying to talk him into. And I've been trying to talk to him about that, because I want to know like more about like his upbringing and him and his brothers. Like his brothers are in the NFL.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of savages too. Like what is
a mutant family?
Yeah. What is with this family? Like what a bunch of nutcases, right? So I'd like to really dive into that. And then also, I don't think he gets enough credit. Like he's got like some killer instinct and a championship mindset that is unmatched in today's, like he's the Tiger Woods of his sport right now. He's so far ahead and above and beyond. He's a phenom, and unlike Tiger Woods, I mean, he didn't start his thing at like 4 years, or well, Tiger started at 0 years old, basically. Started right when he was hatched, right? So yeah, I'm really fascinated by that stuff. I don't have any intentions of asking about fucking picograms and shit like that.
Yeah.
Some of the weird controversial stuff. I don't even care about any of that. I just think he's a fucking badass, and I think he deserves more recognition. And that's what I was kind of talking to him about. I was like, I think I think if we did communicate with you, if we did talk to you in a public format, that people would be able to see a side of you that would be different. And I said, we can even just not talk about fighting at all. We can talk about like just life shit. Like, what are you into? What do you like to do?
Yeah, how amazing would that be?
Because I think he digs like video games and shit. I think he likes to just kind of kick it.
And powerlift.
And archery.
Yeah.
He's super strong too. Yeah, he's hit like a 6-something deadlift.
He's a beast.
He's
a
working
fucking
with
monster. Oh, come on, Mathstatics back in the day. Gary.
in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legion. Oh, shit.
But it's
Sorry,
not
bud.
Legion. It is Legion.
Yeah.
Or is it? I think they split, but I forgot. Gary,
Yeah,
but it's
he's the
Gary
one-
Legion.
Yeah, he's the one.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's the one who put us in contact with him and stuff. So
Yeah, he's training him. Yeah, but like, whoo, yeah, that man is strong. But the thing that I'm just so curious about is, did he really learn this shit on YouTube? Like, was he really watching videos and just like, huh? And he got it, right?
Maybe.
I'm gonna send
maybe.
I'm gonna send him a selfie of us right now. Where you
I
at?
can see his face.
Oh man, but yeah, no, that dude, I'm just like so curious how he learns. Like, I think he just learns things differently and he just tries things. It's so dope. But yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, and then speaking of like making cool shit for big MMA fighters, it's fight week. Dustin Poirier, so we sent him and Phil Daru a bunch of personalized cool like hip circles, a Poirier shirt, like with the it's but
Strong logo on it. and
yeah,
stuff,
it's sick. It's cool stuff. Yeah, check out Phil Daru's Instagram. I believe it's on there for sure. On Twitter, that's
Who's
where I've seen
fighting?
it. Just a couple of guys. Conor McGregor,
Who's
Dustin
that?
Poirier. Yeah,
Connor
Mick
McGregor.
Jagger. Oh,
Oh, like Gregor Clegane from Game of Thrones?
I don't know, dude. I never watched that show.
Oh, well, don't, because the ending sucks.
The fight's this weekend?
Yeah, but wait, let me double check. What's the date? Today
Coming up?
It's on the 23rd, whenever that is.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it's this weekend.
I think.
damn.
It's like Saturday or
Hopefully, I
something.
didn't just make that up. It's it's sometime soon. I believe
Yeah.
it's fight week. Yeah, it's this weekend.
Mhm.
Gosh, you guys made me question myself.
Habib said he
Khabib.
would come out of retirement
Yeah.
for whoever won that fight, I think. The Conor Dustin fight.
Khabib.
Naguna. I wish I did not say
What? That was not even close.
I was close enough.
Habib Nurmagomedov.
Say it again.
Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov.
Nurm.
Nurm?
And I'm pronouncing it wrong too. But
Yeah,
I'm saying,
what?
like,
Yeah, I'm
but
trying
saying,
to follow along. I think he's got it wrong
No,
too.
no, no.
Now I'm
just-
not even going to attempt it anymore.
I'm pronouncing it the way I've heard it, but it's just like
I can hear
NBA
it.
players that have it's Habib Nurmagomedov.
I can hear it in my head.
Ner-
Naguna. No, that's wrong too. It's not
Sounded
right.
like you said, "I'm gonna get off."
You know, a long time ago, somebody told Titty Boy that his name was dumb and that
Yeah.
he needed to change it, and he changed it to 2 Chains, and the rest is history.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the
Why
guy-
didn't anybody ever tell Habib, like, dude, like, we can't run with this name? I know
'Cause
it's your
it's
real name,
beautiful.
and I know,
Yeah.
I get it, but like, we got to call you something else.
Maybe someone did, and he's just like, "You don't understand. Like, I'm one of the greatest that's ever gonna fight, so I don't have to do shit."
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Go
just gonna-
with that.
He's like, I'm just going to kill everybody. So.
yeah.
You Americans will learn to say my name.
Mhm.
And I still haven't, but I will.
We got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Could be.
What other secrets you guys got?
Nurmagomedov.
Let's see. We were just talking
Oh,
about.
we were talking about like recovery type stuff, and so I ice stuff a lot, and I use a freeze sleeve.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You guys have a freeze sleeve as well.
I still like that thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
It's great. Just stick it in the freezer, really easy. It's a sleeve that that's cold. And stick it on your arm, your knee, wherever hurts, and works pretty efficiently. I've been using our own product. Imagine that more recently because my elbow out of nowhere starts to swell up, and man, that's super annoying.
Yeah. It's
Damn.
crap.
It's a bunch of crap. It like filled up with a little bit of fluid, which that hasn't happened in a long time, and I didn't even do anything worth like reporting. You know, it's one thing if I'm if I'm like I was benching 500 for reps and something blew out. You know, I blew a gasket. You know, like at least there's a story in there or something. But no, this is just kind of accumulation, I guess. And so I've been using our utility band, and I've been wrapping up my elbow a bunch, and I haven't had success with the ice, you know. And I know I've heard stuff, and I've been part of discussions with Kelly Starrett and the owner of the company, the Mark Pro company, and that guy's not a fan of ice. He thinks ice just kind of like makes you quote unquote feel better, but doesn't really do anything in certain situations. I think if you smashed your knee on the ground and your knee swelled up, I think that's where ice works really well.
Yeah.
But if it's not like a contusion type of thing, then I just don't think it works as well as we may think. So anyway, but using like a Compex unit or a Mark Pro type of unit can really help a lot. These are like I think they're called like STEM units, and it's a way to like kind of get an electrical impulse to the area. And if you could think about it this way, let's say that you hurt your ankle, like pretty severely, like sprained it pretty bad. Well, there's not a lot of things you can do. You're kind of off your feet. You can't. It's going to be hard to get blood to the area. Even doing like circles or anything with your foot would probably kind of hurt. And so instead, you can utilize something like a Compex unit. You put those pads in certain areas, and it's going to make those areas flex when otherwise you wouldn't be able to flex them that well.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to flush a lot of blood in and out of the area, basically just increasing circulation. And then on top of that, there's like, with a Compex unit in particular, there's so much stuff you can do. They can be expensive, they can be pricey, but I utilized it a ton when I tore my pec. We just saw Nick Wright a couple days ago, or maybe yesterday, tear a pec with under 430 pounds.
Shit.
He's trying a bench PR, and he ended up. I think it's a strain. I don't think he like really destroyed himself too bad. But anyway, yeah, I was using a Compex unit a lot back when I was trying to come back from my first pec tear, and it helped a lot. I was able to get back on the platform. I was able to bench 578, and then I unfortunately tore my pec again with 600 pounds. But it works. It might be something you want to look into.
Yeah, no, whenever I was going to my chiro after my AC joint issue that happened here, every single time he'd hook me up on a STEM unit. So that's definitely something that I want to have for myself because it's super beneficial. Every time it always felt better and better and better. So those are things that could be very useful if you could have it at home.
And even just with your muscles being sore.
Oh yeah.
Or you know, there was one setting on the Compex that you could utilize. Oh, man, I'm forgetting what the name of it was, but I used to do it before workouts to warm up, and I would still obviously warm up for the workout, but it was something that would like some sort of preparatory phase, but it would hurt. I mean, it would come at you hard. Like,
where
it
would you
make
put it? Like,
it would make your
parts
muscles flex hard. I'd put it on my chest and my triceps before a bench workout.
Okay.
And God damn, I wish I could remember what it was called, but it would just go, and you're like, wow, you're like, oh shit. When watching Smokey get electrocuted by that thing, when we do Solidify getting Compex on the show here, we're gonna electrocute the fuck out of Smokey because he can't handle it. You guys ever seen it before? You ever seen Smokey?
I haven't seen Smokey.
I haven't seen him. No, I remember Charlie Zamora would put that thing like on his abs full blast, and I'd be like, "What's wrong?" Because he would just be sitting there and.
I love Charlie. That fucking guy's out of his mind.
He's insane.
He's completely insane.
He doesn't kind of do anything. He's like, "What?
Yep.
How strong is this thing?" And
he would be a tough guy to contend with in jiu-jitsu, right? Because he would just be like wild, and he's all like tall and shit. He'd be a fucking lunatic.
I think that would be a very fun role. It would be really fun to roll with.
He's just out of his mind. I know he did some MMA for a while.
Yeah, he did MMA, but I know him, no training, he would be like, "Oh, you want? Okay, yeah, let's go."
Yeah, let's fucking do it. I'll mess you up, man.
Yeah, he'll have an energy drink and then just go
like,
crazy.
He is like literally the human energy drink. That's what he is.
He is.
He's the human monster energy drink. That's what Charlie is.
We're talking about our boy Charlie Zamora. Used to work here a while back. Shout out to him. Anyway, yeah, we're going over some of these little secrets, some of these things that we do. I've talked about this 9,000 million gazillion times about, eating before I eat. That's like a tip / it's not necessarily a secret because I do talk about it often. But oftentimes having a protein shake, even sometimes like while I might be cooking or something like that, just what it does for me is it helps me control the overall amount of food that I'm eating. So things like that.
I love how the premise of that sounds so fat.
It does.
It's like, oh, I eat before I eat.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, eat before you eat.
But it's supposed to help you.
See if we can bring up the South Park clip of Starvin' Marvin. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Look up Starvin' Marvin appetizer. This is amazing.
No.
It's like him and Cartman. Him and Cartman.
Oh no!
I shall
But I
find
did.
it.
I ate before I ate yesterday. I wait. What was? Oh, you found something? I had 10 boiled eggs and some bacon, and then oh, let's see this.
Oh God, you like went right to it almost. I think it's like right here.
Andrew is better than Jamie.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's it right there.
Okay, that's
Dude, Starvin' Marvin's got it.
Starvin' Marvin.
$6.99 is 2 years' income. Why is your family poor, Starvin' Marvin? Did your
Oh,
mom
no.
have a wallet too? You see, Starvin' Marvin, these are what we call appetizers. Appetizer. This is what you eat before you eat, to make you more hungry.
It's what you eat before you eat to make you more hungry. That's awesome. He ate like
Nice,
3
Starvin'
pieces of
Marvin,
shrimp and
that's
just threw it
not
over
bad.
his shoulder.
Carmen, you butt pipe. This is the
All
time
right,
of year
all
you're
right.
supposed to shave.
We're gonna end up watching South Park the whole time.
Again.
I forgot about Starvin' Marvin, man.
It's what you eat
Oh.
before you eat to make you more hungry.
God.
You guys watched their episode, right? The COVID
pandemic
Yeah,
special.
Yeah.
I watched it, but I think I like
It
was
got
like doing some stuff. and
it
I
got-
didn't
It
see
got a
the whole
little
thing.
too overboard. I watched that with my
got-
father-in-law.
I have to watch it again. So when you say got overboard, like, what do you guys mean exactly?
Come on.
No.
no, it got overboard in like so many different ways.
Yeah.
My favorite part though was the
I like, honestly, the classroom shooting was hilarious.
yeah, that was my favorite part. That was amazing. They're like, you shot him because he's black, and they're like, no, it was because of COVID, because those police officers wouldn't even be teachers if it wasn't for the pandemic.
Oh my god.
I felt so bad when I laughed too.
Oh,
I was like,
it was-
I can't laugh at this, but it's so
Oh,
good.
they do such a good job of that.
They do. Oh, they do. And if
What
you
was
don't laugh,
the-
you take yourself too seriously.
What was the scene with Mickey Mouse or whatever? And what the fuck?
I don't even remember.
I remember he was in it, but you see that's
He was
part
in
I
like the
missed.
back of a
Oh, no
limousine
shit.
and he's
That's
high
right.
as-
Yeah, he was in like Tokyo and he was partying with Mickey Mouse. And that's where he ended up
fucking the pangolin or whatever that thing is called. What was it called?
Yeah, it's a pangolin.
But that's a real animal, right?
Yes.
yeah, Mickey Mouse is real.
Yeah.
Oh
I need to
my
rewatch it.
God.
I have to rewatch it. There's so many things I just didn't pay attention to. Oh, that was great.
And it like was his semen or something that was like the cure for whatever was going on. Or
But then
something.
everyone started growing beards.
Was it a beard or a mustache?
It was a mustache.
It was
I think it was a
mustache.
mustache.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just a mustache. Like he was white.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not gonna
Yeah, because
ruin it.
a beard would have been too far.
Mhm.
God.
That was
Man.
so good.
Those guys are talented.
They are.
That
They're
shows
so-
that show's wild.
yeah, when they did the when Kanye was saying that he liked fish dicks and he's like, "Are you whatever?" He said that woke him up. Like Kanye was like, "Damn, if South Park is making fun of me, then I need to like calm my ass down." Of course,
Really?
he ended up
Oh yeah.
being Kanye, but at that time he was just like he wasn't even like really mad at them. He was just like, "Shit, all right, thanks for the I got to put myself in check."
How was your father-in-law, by the way, when you watched it? Was he laughing also, or was
So it was actually me and my brother-in-law, like we
Brother-in-law,
were talking about it. No, but so he's like, "Do you want to watch it?" I'm like, "Yes, I want to watch it." And so like HBO Max or whatever it was. And then so father-in-law walks in, and after it was all said and done, he just turns and looks at us and he's like, "This is what you guys watch?" I'm like, "Ah, shit, like no, like not really, but like I just wanted to see it because I kept hearing about it." And he just like shakes his head and walks away, like
Aw.
retired police officer. Sorry, sorry, Dad. But I mean, he laughed too. But yeah, he's
Yeah.
just like, "Really, guys?" Like,
Yeah.
Well, sorry.
Hey, we're kids.
Yeah. Real quick, in regards to repairing issues and stuff with our bodies, I picked up Back Mechanic with Stuart McGill.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I suck at reading, but it got to a point where I'm like, dude, like my back is just terrible. I was putting down one of my dogs, like I was holding him, put him down, and like got stuck. I'm like, oh, and so I just like threw him.
Ooh.
He's fine. Dogs land on their feet usually. I mean, we're talking like a foot from the ground.
Okay.
And it like hit me. I'm like, dude, what if this happens with our baby? Like, man, like what am I gonna do? Like, ask for help because I can't put him down. Like, I'll get through it. But then that's where I was like, dude, I should, I don't know, really look into this a lot, like seriously. So I picked up Back Mechanic, and the only reason why I bring it up because it's the first time that I actually like went in further than watching a couple YouTube videos or asking somebody here in person, and then just trying a bunch of stuff. It actually teaches you like it tells you straight up that, hey, this is going to hurt, but we're only going to hurt a little bit just so we can figure out where your pain triggers are or what your pain triggers are. And by just doing a couple of simple exercises, I can now understand why my back hurts. Whereas before I was like, it kind of hurts when I do this, or if I bend over, and like sometimes I just get a shocking pain, sometimes I don't, but I don't know why. And now I kind of understand why. And so just really just taking the time to kind of do a little bit more research on whatever it is that hurts you will go a long way. Maybe even something that you're not used to doing, like reading a book.
Just purchased it right now. Every time
There
you
you
mention
go.
it, I'm like,
Oh,
I gotta buy it, and I just keep forgetting. So that's
Man.
I'm gonna get.
I should have gave you my
affiliate.
affiliate link. I'm just joking.
Aw.
I'm joking. I don't have
You know, what you're referring to is people sometimes will say you're scratching your own itch. You know, you're taking care of your own problem, and that's what we need to do more often. Is and how do you do it? You do it through knowledge. You do it through learning, and so you just got to figure out, like, you either communicate with somebody that you know that's already doing something or has already been through something. You find a book, you YouTube it. Like, there's just so many ways to problem solve and troubleshoot, and we talk about that quite a bit on the show. But that's the easiest strategy. Maybe not the easiest strategy, but it's the most simple strategy. I have a problem. This is my issue. My back hurts a lot. You know, people mention different stuff to me in passing. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true. You know, I don't know exactly what I should do to fix my back. So I'm going to buy a fucking book on it.
Yeah. And
That's great.
One awesome thing that I learned from it already, and I know we're talking about things that we do like that every day. We don't really think about it. There's just things we do, but I appreciate the book so much because he was saying, you know, a lot of people will say like doing yoga, doing Pilates, which are extremely beneficial. I'm not going to say they're not. You can't just put a blanket statement and say, this is going to cure your back. Because I'm like, dude, every time that I've done it, not every time, but a lot of times I would, you know, you're laying down on the ground or doing something, and like that hurts. That hurts me. So I would get up and be like, oh my God, I feel so much worse. So not doing things that hurt my back, as stupid as that sounds, is something that like is a new concept to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's always like no pain, no gain. It's like, oh fuck, I got to struggle through it. But in the book, it's like, hey, like, no, like if you're, depending on what type of back pain you have, there's a really good chance that yoga is just going to make it worse. So you need to address, or you need to understand what it is that actually hurts. So that way you can either do or not do some of the things that hurt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like if you have a pain somewhere, there's a problem, and you're just constantly just like in a position and like stretching it, that might not make it better.
Right. Yeah.
So and I like didn't you mention you were talking to Mark and myself about how like it was telling you certain ways to pick things up, certain ways you should be sitting, like all these little things. Like when you think about it, if you're doing that bad motion every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, it compounds.
Oh, of course. Now, add, you know, like 12 years of doing it. That's what I was doing. And one of the cool things, it recommends getting just a simple lumbar support. So that's what I use every day. I use it here.
Your lower back?
Yeah, I have one right here. I don't know if I can. Yeah, you can kind of see it on screen.
Okay.
So it's just an inflatable one. Got on Amazon, $25. I got one for here and one for home, and it's already made a huge difference.
Picture for everybody that like truck drives or something that listens to this podcast.
I kind of want to get one for the car because I'll be sitting in the car and then I'll like, it's really for me is a posture thing. So I'm like this a lot. So I'll even watching a movie, I'm like, nope, don't do that. And I'll just like get upright and like, damn, you idiot, you've been doing this for your whole life. No wonder why your back hurts. So that's definitely probably the secret that I don't talk about the most is just this simple lumbar support. Like if you're sitting at a desk, you just get one.
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one for my car.
This one's sick. It's inflatable, so you can like raise or lower it. It has like its own built-in pump.
You got that on Amazon?
Yeah, it's insane.
You gotta send me that link.
I'll send you that affiliate link.
I think the car sometimes is like the worst. You know, car seats, like they feel pretty good when you first sit in the car. It kind of depends on the kind of car that you have and stuff too. But when you first sit in the car, it's like not too bad, you know, and you drive for a couple minutes and you don't ever really notice it. You go on those longer drives and, you know, it's probably not the seat's fault. It's probably our own fault. Our own posture kind of falls apart. But the seat, you know, the curvature of the seat, I always find to be interesting. And the airlines are the worst because it's like it's curved forward. And you're like, why am I like it takes away like your midsection and just puts your chest and shoulders forward. You're like, what position is this, and what is this good for? Is this a good way to like crash and or something like that? Like, what are they setting us up for here? It's really odd. But yeah, if you can find something just to put into your lower back. I used to sometimes just take like a Gatorade bottle and just put it there if I was on like a really long trip. And then that way I had something that kind of cued me to be a little bit more upright, because I find myself kind of leaning forward and having my hands, out extended onto the steering wheel. So whatever way you got to, do to figure that out, remedy that kind of thing for yourself, I think is great, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of solution just kind of reminds me about mouth tape. And let me tell you why. Like, 8 hours out of the night, you're sleeping with tape around your mouth and you're training yourself to breathe through the nose. And if like a lot of people that are trying to repair their posture in their back, they're like, okay, I'm a strength trainer. I'm gonna strengthen my back. I'm gonna strengthen my rear delt so I can have better posture. But then once they leave the gym, they go and they sit down and they're here again for hours, right? This kind of thing that you're doing and all of this resetting, right, is all that other 8 hours or 10 hours of small habits, sitting on the couch with your wife, sitting in your car, sitting at your desk. You're now training that posture, and boom, it's getting ingrained. So, dude, a few months from now, it's going to be pretty crazy to see how your back feels.
And that's another thing too, is like the mindset of, wanting to go to the chiropractor to pop my back into place or something, and then it's like, oh, instantly, like I feel so much better. Another thing the book talks about is just like, hey, like you spent years getting your back here, it's going to take years to fix it.
I love that.
So it's a tough pill to swallow, right? Because like I don't want to be in pain anymore.
Well, your whole like left side could be more developed than the right side.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a pop isn't going to really do anything for it. That's chiropractic is. It's tough, you go to any sort of physician and they try to assist you and give you some advice. It's hard to follow through on that advice and to do it for like a long enough period of time to have any real impact. There's some other things that I do from like a mindset standpoint that I found to be helpful over the years. Just and we've talked about this on the show, so it's not necessarily a secret, but just interpretation. We can interpret things. Tom is our buddy Tom Thornton is here, and his sister has been in town for about a month. And here's two people that grew up in the same household, but with different interpretations of how they're supposed to live their lives. They're twins, right? And Tom is more analytical. He's more like math based. More, Tom's gonna whip out a chart for everything all the time. And even I talked to Tom's dad yesterday because he's been doing the carnivore diet, and
he looks amazing.
Congrats to him. Yeah, he
looks fantastic.
Lost like 60 pounds or something. I mean, fucking unbelievable. He's 56 years old, so the age is not a factor for him. He's figured it out. But I just find it interesting, that Tom's sister is more, I guess, on the creative side. She's more into like art and cooking and things of that nature. And I find stuff like that really fascinating. Both of my brothers, their interpretation of the way that my parents were bringing us up versus my interpretation of it. I recall my brothers, saying like I would have favoritism and stuff like that, but I never, or actually I never heard that from Chris, but I heard it from Mike. I never saw that or felt that with anything they ever did. I never viewed it that way because, my interpretation was different. And so I guess what I'm saying here is every single thing that you learn or every single thing that you know is all open to interpretation. You can interpret stuff to be positive. You can interpret stuff to be negative. That's usually what our brain does. Our brain's usually like, that ain't good. And or our brain's like, that's for me, and you try to figure it out from there. But once you do figure it out from there, once you do categorize something as being good or bad, your body starts to populate the rest of your cells and the rest of your body towards whatever that thing was. So you have to make a decision. How do you want to categorize this? Is this actually that bad? Or is this just kind of so? Like you found out that your aunt had cancer. Like, obviously that's fucking horrible news, right? And your mind should shift towards trying to figure out. But then you have to kind of put some rational thought to it. And you can't really turn a negative into a positive necessarily all the time. But what you can do is you can calm yourself down a bunch so your whole body doesn't turn negative. Because what good does it do for your whole body to turn sour over a situation that you can't really do anything about?
That's so amazing. I actually was having, you said it, of course, way better than I did, but literally like the same conversation with my daughter Jasmine last night. She has a like a parent teacher conference today, and right away she's like, and I'm like, whoa, I'm like, hold on, and she like didn't know exactly where I was going with it. I'm like, is it really that bad? She's like, yeah. I'm like, why? I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, let's dissect this thing a little bit. But I was explaining like the same thing. I'm like, hey, you're already telling your mind and your body that you're gonna have a bad day. Like, you're already setting it up. So from now till it happens, it's gonna be all negative. I'm like, how about instead of I have this parent teacher conference thing tomorrow, how about it's, wow, tomorrow I only have a 15-minute conference and then I'm off for the rest of the day. Like, let's look at it that way. And so kind of just explaining like how you interpret things is kind of like how you're going to, how it's actually going to happen. You kind of will things to happen. You put things in motion. It's pretty cool. I think she got it. I'm actually going to send this little clip to her. So that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it's happened a lot. Like, first off, that takes a lot of, I think you mentioned this a long time ago, like mental jujitsu. That's kind of what it is. But I've heard a lot of people talk about, like, when something happens and you have all this anxiety about something negative happening, and then because of all of that, you take certain actions that you don't even realize that makes it happen because you're thinking so much about it. And it's not like you think it'll happen, but your continuous negativity towards what you think will happen has you do things to lead there, right? Whereas if you were to just, calm down, think about, okay, how bad is this really? Just do your best not to worry about the situation and go on about things. It might actually end up better than what it could be. So, yeah, no, that's a big one.
I think some other things you can try to work on is things that you might feel that are that have a negative charge to them. Sometimes we say stuff because we're messing with each other and things like that. But even with things like that, you just might want to think about them a little bit more and say, should I really send this to somebody? Like, is this, like, am I totally just messing with them and this person is open to that? Because that's different. Like, if it's a buddy and you're telling him to go screw himself or whatever, that's stuff that we do. Like, it's just silly stuff. And I like to engage in stuff like that all the time. So I'm always messing around that way. But you just might want to think about, like, how negatively charged is something that you're sending? Like, is it actually hurtful? And is it really even worth it? Is it really worth it to send that text, that email that's negatively charged? You might just want to think about it more, or to even say something that has a lot of negativity, because it's going to stir up negativity in the room and it's going to start to probably come back on you. Something I've been kind of messing around with just for the last couple of weeks, but I haven't really truthfully been practicing it enough, but I do find that it at least sounds like a good idea to me, and just in practicing it shortly, it feels like it works pretty well. You might want to just write down a couple things that you want to be. You try to pick like one word, like we were just mentioning Charlie Zamora. Like, every time I think about that guy, it makes me smile. Like, it makes me feel good, because Charlie's always all fired up. He's always all excited. He doesn't let you walk past him without getting a hug. Like, you have to hug him. Like, that's just the way he is. He also is kind of guy that, like, just anything that you need, like, I don't know, you need tickets to a concert, or, you need to know somebody for any particular reason. He knows everybody. Everybody knows, he's that kind of guy. So the words that you would use to describe him would be fun, exciting, maybe crazy, right? Maybe a little wild. He's got that side to him too, right? But what are the things that you want to be associated with? And even if you're not outwardly viewed that way, you can at least write down these couple things that anytime you have a lot of negative thoughts and you start drifting down that road of negativity, you can actually just look at the list and say, oh yeah, I remember, I wanted to be funnier. I wanted to be more fun in 2021. Oh yeah, I remember I wanted people to think of me as being more excited about stuff, because I'm a little vanilla, I'm a little dull, and then maybe a third thing in there is that you just want to be viewed as being positive. You don't want people to be like, oh fuck, here comes Andrew. Every time he comes around, like it's a lot of weight. It's a lot of just like I just don't. I'm just gonna see if I can say hi to him quick and fucking run by the door, so that way I don't have to. I don't have to get pulled down. Like there's people that we have in our lives that are like this, right? And you want to try to avoid that a lot of times. So think of the 2 or 3 things that you want to be, or 2 or 3 things you would like to represent. And even just negative thought or negative anything comes your way, if you can have these things on your phone and you can just look at them and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get back to that. So before I send this response back to somebody and tell them what an asshole I think they are, I'm not even gonna bother with it. I'm just gonna say, okay, that's great, or I'll say, all right, I just won't say anything, or however you want to handle it.
There was this guy that I was talking to the other day on the podcast that me and my buddy do. His name's Tim Salau. He was the former, and I didn't even know this was a job description, chief evangelist for a company called WeWork. You know what an evangelist?
I know the company, yeah.
Yeah. He was there.
Yeah, I know an evangelist, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a thing. But when we legit just started the episode, Tim, it's crazy. You like when people say you can feel other people's energy. This was by the way over Zoom. His energy literally came through the screen, and I was just staring at him like, what the hell? Like, first off, okay, this is kind of odd, but man, you're making me feel good, so I'm just gonna keep listening. Like, he brought that energy through. I was like, I can tell why he was the chief evangelist of this company. And throughout the whole episode, like, I complimented him 3 times on his energy, because I was just like, God damn, man, like, you're really like, first off, your
That's
story.
the kind of shit that makes me jealous of people.
I'm
not really jealous or envious of anything, but sometimes when someone's like that,
yeah,
or when someone can kind of be like the life of the party all the time, I'm like, how do they do that? Like,
I want that.
Yeah. I'm like, that's cool. Like, it's it's great to be recognized, to have like some muscle on you and different things like that.
Yeah.
All that stuff's cool, but there's people that don't have any of those attributes whatsoever, but they can light up a fucking room.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the way they look, what they're wearing, what they drove. It has nothing to do with any of that shit. They just come in the room and boom, right away. Look, Wayne is like that. Our buddy Wayne is like that. Like Wayne is just fucking cool. Like he can start up a conversation with just about anybody. He's just fun.
Yeah,
he's fun to be around.
Super envious of like anybody that can like instantly be in a room full of strangers and then walk out with like phone numbers and like plans for the weekend. And I'm just like,
that's not me.
how the fuck? Like, yeah, me neither. But Wayne is definitely that guy. Super cool, because he just, when you hang around with him, he just makes you happy.
There's some people that can pull that off too without being loud too. That's really hard.
That's a skill.
Because usually you're going to be a little bit more like Charlie if you're going to be like you're going to be the life the life of the. I remember him telling some stories about when he was like with Caffeine and Kilos, and like how the athletes like loved doing stuff with them.
Yeah.
And I could see why, because like he's gonna make whatever happen that you want to have happen. So these athletes that would come from other countries and stuff, these Olympic lifters, when they want to be shown a good time, they know they could kick it with him, and he was just gonna figure out ways for them to have a great time,
Yeah.
But what you were saying on writing down what you want to be, right? That's something that, like, me personally in the past, I had to do that, and I had to have a lot of intention behind the way that I acted. Like, I am naturally an introverted, quiet individual. That's how I naturally am. But I had to make it a point to try to let more of my personality out and not be just so calm. Because that's how like when I'm alone, man, I'm just like, I'm cool, I'm good.
Calm people just I think calm and like not overly showing a lot of emotion, people will interpret that as you're not having a good time.
Yeah, and I am. I'm just like, I'm chill. And my relaxed face makes me look angry. People think I'm just mad. I'm not. I'm very happy.
Dude, why are you so upset?
I remember one of the first times I came into ST to take pictures, and I wanted to take pictures of you deadlifting, but I'm like, oh man, this guy's probably having just like a really bad day or something.
No.
I know. Well, it's just because you look around the room and everybody is just whatever normal typical gym session, but then you're quiet, so I'm like, dude, man, he probably had like something happened. Like he's probably angry at someone or something, and he doesn't want anybody to bother him.
See, that wasn't it though.
But now I know.
Yeah.
But back then I didn't know shit.
That's why I had to put some intention behind. Like I know, like okay, I'm just in my zone. I'm working out. I'm not mad at all. And if anyone came and talked to me, I'd totally talk to them. But I'm just like,
yeah. I remember.
You
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got if that's not you and you want to be a different way, I think it's very easy to get into the stuck into the mindset of I am the way I am. And that's my personality, and my personality can't really change, but you can change that if you put intention behind it.
Yeah.
I remember the great football player Barry Sanders. When he would score a touchdown, he would always just flip the ball to the ref. And I mean, he's just one of the greatest running backs of all time. No one's ever run the ball like him before or since. I mean, he was on a different level than everybody. But he said, they asked him why he did that, and he's like, well, one time in college when I scored a touchdown and I put my hands over my head, and he's like, and I didn't like it. It just didn't feel good to him, when he outwardly celebrated like that. So the things that you do write down, make sure they're kind of line up with stuff that you can actually, do. Like, you might not be able to turn into that guy that's like the life of the party. However, you might be able to show more excitement than you have in the past. You might be able to psych yourself up a little bit to go out, with people and say, you know what, because you can talk yourself into that stuff. You can tell yourself before you go and exercise for the day, you could say, you know what, I'm gonna give it hell today. I'm gonna push a little harder. Yesterday was a good workout, but if I'm being honest, on a scale of 1 to 10, I put in like a 6 or 7. I want to do like an 8 or a 9 today and see what that feels like. You can do that, and you can do that just going out, hanging out with friends. You can be like, you know what? Last time we went out, I didn't say like 2 words. I'm going to talk a little bit more. I'm just going to start out by asking people a couple questions. That way it gets somebody talking, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. You were, been mentioning writing stuff down. Do you guys utilize your notes app on your phones?
Yeah, I use my notes app a lot, and I use my voice memo a lot. I use all that stuff pretty often, and I go back and look at the actual notes. I don't go back and listen to the audio, but I probably should every once in a while.
Yeah, so I was actually because just learning like newsletter stuff. Me and Josh have been like doing a lot of Zoom calls, and I just had asked him, I'm like, hey, like, how do you keep track of things, and how do you, for social media? We always share stuff about social media, and he was like, I actually just use my notes app. And then so he showed me what he does, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, of course, of all people, Josh is going to be the one that has his shit together when it comes to that. But
daily discipline.
Yeah.
I love Josh.
He's the best. So, dude, yeah, I was already using my notes app for all my social media posting and stuff like that for the podcast. But he was showing me like, oh, you can create folders and folders inside the folders, and then within each folder you can have different like levels, and I'm like,
oh, you can share them too. So like we could have all three of us could have a shared notes section, and it'll get updated anytime anyone types in it.
Yeah,
it's wild.
So
it's all kinds of weird shit you can do on there.
Yeah, for some of the links for the podcast, I'm actually gonna talk to Jess about that with like promoting stuff, and just like every time we have a new one.
Here's my notes. I mean, look, it just kind of goes on
forever.
Yeah,
that's one thing though.
And like, this is still like
you can get lost. Yeah, you can get lost.
There's notes from like 5 years ago in there.
So you had to break it down by year and then month and all that good stuff. But yeah, I think if you're not using your notes app in your iPhone, you're missing out.
If you're not using an iPhone, you're missing out. We
had one guy that commented saying that Androids were way better than iPhones, but he put an I space phone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, your Android didn't do it correctly.
Go burn in a ditch.
It probably caught fire.
I have stuff from. I was just looking at this. This is wild. I didn't even know it went back this far.
How far back?
I got stuff from 2013.
Boy.
Whoa.
Let's see how far, if it goes back any further than that.
That's sick.
Let's do it.
Well, I didn't even know, because I don't know, I switched phones a couple times and just.
Oh yeah, it keeps it all, man.
Yeah, I was checking notes. I have notes from Hustlemania days.
I have notes from 2012. The Lord's Prayer, Sweatshop Union. What is Sweatshop Union?
Oh, no.
What? That's weird.
Who knows? Hopefully you didn't just out yourself.
Sorry, Nike.
I was gonna say
Yeah, but no, yeah. That's we went on a road here. Anything interesting?
That's what this podcast is.
Yeah, this is mind-boggling. It's got stuff about supertraining.tv on here.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
That's how old it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway,
cool. We have a lot more stuff that we
So
want
much
to
shit.
mention, but what do we want to go on next?
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
But
real quick, since we were on the you were talking about your back and we were talking about recovery stuff, I have mentioned this quite a bit, but I do think that some of you may want to dip your toes in the water or the lake of stretching just a bit. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to stretch for 45 minutes. You don't have to do uncomfortable positions, and you don't have to go even into positions that are painful. You don't want to feel any pain, but just getting to the habit of doing maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, hopping into a squat for 2 minutes, maybe, right? We were doing that 10-minute squat for a while. I have a bunch of routines on my YouTube channel that range anywhere from 10 to 55 minutes. So choosing one and just trying it out and doing what you can, doing that a few times a week, your body might feel better. And I'm just saying that because there are a lot of comments, there are a lot of people that have sent me messages of how their bodies have changed, how they feel much better before they hit the gym. Nowadays, I don't feel like I have to warm up before working out anymore. My body feels good pretty much all the time. Wasn't in the case of the past, and I can personally directly say that that is linked to stretching often.
Immediate feedback that you get from stretching is that it does feel pretty good. I mean, sometimes you're stretching something that might be tight and it might be kind of a strenuous type of stretch, but think about just stretching down towards your toes. I mean, it's like, normally that just feels pretty good. I mean, I guess maybe you were really sore or something, it wouldn't feel great. You see people stretch their arms and stretch their bodies just here and there randomly throughout the day. Somebody will like just stretch their arm like in a doorway or and I don't think people are even really consciously thinking about it. In the morning when you wake up, you kind of do that little like cat stretch type thing where you stretch out a little bit. But I think that just getting in the discipline of doing something, once you get the feedback that's positive, and if your body starts to feel better, I think you might be headed in the right direction. And that happens with your nutrition, that happens with your lifting, that happens with everything. So I need to stretch. I was actually thinking about it last night. I did a couple stretches before I went to bed, and I was like, I need to this just needs to be part of a routine. I just need to do this before I go to bed. Like, why not just do 3 or 4 stretches? Like, just leave it at that. It doesn't have to be any more than that. And if I get involved and get into more of it, then that would be fine. But what I've noticed too with lifting especially is that I have to be, so at this point it doesn't matter as much anymore, but I used to have to be a little more cautious with even allowing myself to add anything on. Think about if you were programming for me and I was doing, let's say I'm doing jujitsu and I'm lifting, and I came back to you and I was like, yeah, man, first 2 weeks I was pretty excited. So, on the days you had me doing pull-ups, I threw in like 3 extra sets, and on the days you had me benching, I threw in a couple extra sets, and I threw in an extra squat day because everything was feeling really good.
Yeah.
You're thinking like, the guy, you're thinking Mark doesn't really know, like, the wheels are gonna fall off here at some point. Like, it's cool that he's got more energy. It's cool he's excited, but he's only doing jiu-jitsu like twice a week right now, and once he moves to 3, like, he's gonna be like toast. And so a lot of times we don't feel stuff until down the road a little bit, or we don't really notice how much something is going to pull away from something else. So if you're going to try a new discipline, keep it to something short and sweet for as long as you can before you get excited about, trying 17 other things. Because once you do that, the example of stretching, now I'm going to bed, instead of going to bed at 9:30, now I'm going to bed at 10, and then I get more excited and more into it. Now I'm going to bed at 10:30, and then how is cutting into my sleep beneficial? Like, it's not great, right? So keep it short and sweet, keep it to that allotted time, and then if you want to expand at some point, have it be incremental like you would do with your lifting.
But real quick on that thing that you just mentioned, I actually wrote that down, stretching before sleep. A lot of people have messaged me about it. I noticed the difference in the ease of
David
me falling
Goggins,
asleep.
right?
Oh, I didn't even know that he does that before he goes to sleep. But like, I noticed that I fall asleep much quicker if I stretch before bed. It calms my body down. It calms me down. I'm able to just kind of KO. So
And I think you said when you stretch, you don't normally listen to music or you're not normally doing anything else.
No, not really. Like there will be some nights if I'm watching a show or whatever, I'll have the show on or whatever while I'm stretching before I go to bed. But usually I'm just stretching. Yeah, and I don't think there is a problem if you are watching something or whatever. Especially if, like, Andrew's talked about this before with, I think you read High Performance Habits, or not High Performance Habits, one of your habits.
Yeah, it was
like
peak. Oh my gosh. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just pair something that maybe you don't like doing that much, or something that you're getting yourself used to doing. So like stretching with watching a Netflix show. Or
right,
whatever,
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stretch until the end of the month. I'll start tonight. And I'll go to the 31st, and I'll just see what the hell happens. Why not, right?
Why not?
Maybe you can offer up 3 or 4 stretches that I can do. That way I got something to go off of, yeah.
Okay. Yep. Let's do it. I'll share it in a note with you.
Oh, hey now.
Hey now.
And then we'll share that on our newsletter.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, bam. Sick.
Everybody knows I need to stretch, right? Look at me.
Okay.
I'm all stuck together over here.
And then let me know how some of these movements feel. Guys, if you guys, need some routines, again, those Smooth Panther routines are follow along videos on YouTube.
Channel?
It's my name, Nsima Inyang.
Oh, there you
But
go.
the Smooth Panther videos are legit in a playlist, and they're like 30.
How smooth is this panther?
Super
Never mind.
smooth. Silky smooth. We're not doing any freaky things with animals, though. We're not that kind of people. No, we don't like pangolins.
But maybe.
What
about before you lift? Is there anything you do before you lift to get you more prepared for lifting? Is there anything that you do before jiu-jitsu to get you more prepared for it? Any routine, any little secret, any little tip? Is it even just getting fired up and like listening to a song or anything like that? I mean, you're not that kind of person really, but
no, like before jiu-jitsu, there's 3 songs that I will typically play on my drive there that kind of just get me ready for combat. So like oddly enough, there are 3 songs that I put on always, and they help me just kind of get in the zone. It's just part of that ritual. Now, as far as like
is that Karate Kid song, "You're the Best Around" or whatever?
You're the best.
No. Okay, it's okay. I'll find the names of the other songs, but oddly enough, if any of you guys watched The Mandalorian,
yeah, absolutely.
Do you remember the song that was playing when, I don't want to ruin the ending, but a certain individual in the last episode came and he like someone no one expected, he did his thing and saved the day. There is that song that was playing as he was messing up all those droids.
Gets you fired up.
That shit gets me so fired up, bro.
That's great.
It gets me so. It is just an instrumental, but it gets me so fired up. I
like instrumentals sometimes.
Yeah,
they're pretty dope.
If they're the right ones, they hit right. Right. There's also the song called "Runnin'" from Creed, from the Creed 2 movie. So that's a sick one. Man, DeLorean.
Elon Musk.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
It's just all I could think of.
Yeah,
because I've never seen the show.
Yeah. But yeah, there's this song from the Creed movie. It's called "Runnin'," so I listen to that too. But yeah, in terms of actual stuff that people really care about, movements. Because of jiu-jitsu, there's this terminal knee extension. That's the one movement that I make sure to always do. That I do some
terminal knee extension, a TKE. Basically, you put a band behind your knee.
Yeah.
And you have it to something. You tie the band off to something stationary, and you can look it up. That would probably be your best bet. But you just kind of move your knee forward and backwards and get like a knee pump, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. I do a lot of that. I do rear delt work, or just face pulls with a band too, just to warm up my rear delts, because especially with jiu-jitsu, there's a lot that goes on with your knees and shoulders. And I do that before lifting too. Those are 2 specific movements that I absolutely make sure to do to warm up those parts of my body. And then also, what is I forgot what it's called, but I still do that to this day. RPR. I do those RPR techniques because I think they're pretty beneficial. They feel good. So yeah, I don't do any specific stretching right before lifting anymore, because I would have stretched some other time during the day, and my body already feels pretty good. But yeah, usually I do kind of like what you do when I use certain movements to warm up. So I'll do some pull-ups. I'll go into my workout and just do lighter loads of that movement. Then I'll move into the heavier loads. That's what I do now.
I really think these things are like preparatory. So like whether they actually do anything or not, I don't know how, I don't know how much significance the actual movement has, but it could be whatever movement for you. He's talking about TKEs. I don't think it'd make any difference if you did a step up instead, or just something. Each individual might have their own thing that they like to do. I see a lot of people doing like curls when they start their workout, or they warm up their arms, or whatever you got to do, whatever way makes you feel good. But I think it's an opportunity to do what I like to call like an evaluation of your body. If you were to go to a chiropractor, or you were to go to someone and say, hey, I hurt my hip really bad or hurt my back really bad, they're going to evaluate your movement pattern. They're going to see how you move and how everything looks, and they're going to ask you how you feel. Well, you should be asking yourself how you feel when you go to the gym and you start to move around for the day. If you had an upper body workout planned and you go to do some tricep push downs with a rope, why not? That's a great thing to start with. Like, hey, let's see if the elbows are like, how are they feeling today?
Yeah.
How do they feel? And if you go to do a set and you're like, ooh, like that's not great. Well, maybe you warm up a little bit more, or maybe it's not in the cards for you for that particular day to go as heavy as you wanted, or you have to audible and do something slightly different. Maybe a barbell bench press is not a great idea. Maybe instead you'll use some machines, or maybe you'll do some dumbbell work. You have an opportunity to evaluate how everything is feeling. Based off of that, you can make some changes. Let's say you wanted to finish your workout with sprints on the bike or something, but you kind of realize your quad is really tight. Well, let's do something different. Do the rower, do a different movement. So, it gives you time to analyze how you feel, but it also gives you time to like switch into another gear and say, I'm here to exercise, I'm here to train, and I'm going to, give it my best shot, and I'm going to put in the best effort that I can. I also think that it kind of, your body wakes up to stuff. Your body's like, okay, I know what's coming next, because he does this every time. He does these little itty bitty exercises where we move around and we pitter patter for a while, and then he talks for a while, and then he's going to lift like a maniac. Any minute now, it's going to happen. Like, let's get everybody ready to go.
Yeah.
I do think the body sort of works that way. So it could be, just one more reason just to take your time before you start your workout.
Just how music can change your state. No, you're totally right in that. There's certain songs that you play before you go for a heavy bench, and you're just like,
it gets you fired up.
It gets you fired up. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, it tunes you in.
I was gonna. There was one thing I lost it.
Yeah, well,
whatever.
While you're thinking about it, you guys are talking about music. I use music to help me with editing and stuff. I like the it's called like lo-fi chill hip hop beats or whatever.
Spotify or YouTube.
Yeah, that works too. But I just throw it on YouTube. It's the one with the girl. She's writing endlessly, and then the cat, and there's memes all over the place.
Yeah.
But dude, I love putting that on in the background and doing pretty much anything work related. Like it's important, because if you know the song or the beat or whatever, then you're anticipating that next part that you like, and so it takes you out of whatever you're doing. So getting on some music that you're not familiar with is really, really beneficial.
Light bulb real quick.
Bing.
And I agree with that. But it came to me just how you mentioned the book by Stuart McGill. I bought the On Becoming a Supple Leopard by Kelly Starrett back in like 2012. And that book is the book that got me into mobility. There is I still do a lot of the stuff from that book. There was a time that I was doing a lot of the stuff before working out because I was so tight, but I don't need to do that as much. But from the knowledge of that book, I've been able to, when I feel something, I'm like, I got to work on that. And I'll do some smashing. I'll do some stuff with bands, and boom, I'm good. Have that book in your library. Just like this back book by Stuart McGill, I think that there's a second edition of that book too, which is awesome. But get that book in your library, because it can help you self-diagnose and fix something that may be going on with you with some simple mobilizations.
Yeah. More of a tip than a secret, I think. For me, I like to learn. I like to learn at all different times of the day, but mainly in the morning. I noticed is when I can have the best concentration on that. And so, more recently I've been walking a lot with my dad, which is great, but it also has kind of cut into some of that time. So sometimes I have to, get out there and start walking before I see him, usually at 6:30 or 7, or I have to just walk, after, or a little bit longer, after he takes off or whatever. But try to learn that for yourself. Like try to see what feels best for you, because maybe you'll learn better off later in the day, or maybe you feel more creative later on in the evening, or whatever it might be. So that's something that has helped me a ton. And I just basically all I've ever done really with any of this kind of stuff is just I YouTube stuff that just I find interesting, and then it kind of leads me down that kind of YouTube rabbit hole, where I think most people are kind of like, I don't, they'll go down these quote unquote rabbit holes, but they maybe don't want to explore them because they don't want to be like shoved into them. I don't mind like diving into them for a while. I don't mind like I'll listen to stuff that's just that I get nothing from sometimes, and it sucks. But how do I know that there's not something there? I need to kind of listen to it, and I would really strongly urge you guys to listen to different voices. You might be so pumped to listen to David Goggins all the time, or whomever that person is for you, but give other people a shot, give other people a chance, because sometimes you got to get used to their cadence. Sometimes for whatever reason you're finding them annoying, they're off-putting. Like there's a bunch of reasons on why you might not like what somebody's saying. Maybe what they're saying doesn't vibe well with you, but maybe the next paragraph is going to. So you got to kind of, if you're really trying to learn stuff, you got to hang in there. And it's annoying. It's a little bit like being in school. What the teacher says is not always going to be exciting.
I want to remind people of, you mentioned what Josh Settlage does, where he focuses on an individual each month. I think that's a brilliant way of going about it, especially if you're trying to learn different things. You could get stuck just listening to one person for a long time. But if you want to get different viewpoints and learn different things, or maybe learn different ways of doing the same exact thing, some which may be actually better, try that. Focus on one person's content for a month and maybe go through what they've shared, and then try to hit up another person's content for a while and learn about them and what they're sharing. It'll be a good way for you to broaden your aspect or broaden your ideas.
Yeah, I think it was Bedros Keuilian, where he was like, I'm not impressed when somebody is like, oh, I read 200 books this year. He's like, I'm more impressed with somebody that's read one book 200 times. It's like, because then they're going to know exactly like the ins and outs of whatever the topic is on that book. Yeah. And yeah, I think we are, it's, in the, like a world where everything is quick, TikTok videos are coming at you real fast. You're going to want to jump around, but there's definitely, some more things that you can uncover if you kind of stick with one creator or one content creator or one author, one topic for a little bit longer than normal.
Kind of along the same lines of the Josh Settlage thing of studying one person, you could also think of one or two people every day that you want to try to invest a little bit more time into. Yeah. My dad kind of mentioned recently, he's like, I got to get off social media. He's like, I'm on there way too long. He's like, I'd rather think about, your uncle and your aunt, and I'd rather call them up and say hello. He's like, I haven't been doing that much. And he's like, I just comment on something that they have, but he's like, I don't know why I don't just call them. He's like, I can have a much better conversation with them. I just call them up, So maybe, focus in on some people that you want to put some concentration into, put some time into. Maybe it's just like a buddy that you just haven't, we all have a bunch of people in our phone that we've been lame to, that we just haven't chatted with in a while, and they would probably love to hear from us, and it'll probably spark something cool again. So I think those things are really helpful. And then also, this is something that I try to do with my own family, or I do it with my own family, but just try to figure out, like, what are things that we can do together? What's Jake into? So Jake and I and Andy, we watch a show called God damn it. We watched a show called Your Honor. There you go.
Oh, wow.
With Bryan Cranston. Is that how you say is that his name?
Yeah.
Bryan
Breaking Bad.
From Breaking Bad. That show's amazing. You guys need to watch it. It's fucking dope.
Your Honor or Breaking Bad?
Your Honor.
Okay.
Breaking Bad's dope too. You ever see that?
Yeah, I finished it a long time ago.
Yeah. Breaking Bad was really cool.
Your Honor, what's it on?
Never
HBO
once.
Or Hulu?
I don't know.
Never heard of it. That's
the
sick,
secret
though.
elitist channel that only Mark has access to.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. But yeah, there's a lot of things like that. I try to think of, Quinn doesn't really care that much to like watch TV, so then I got to kind of think of something different to do with her. And then even just relationship wise, thinking of different things to do with the wifey. Her and I have some shows that we like. um, trying to get, out for a date and things like that is a little bit harder nowadays. But making time to be with each other and to figure some of those things out. These are the things that pop up on a day-to-day basis of like, how do you squeeze in enough time for each other? And one great way of doing that is just to think about it, be thoughtful about it. Think about, hey, how can I figure out how to, make this situation better, or to not neglect certain situations.
Yeah, so it looks like Showtime.
There you go.
Well, bam.
It's a great show.
On that note, if you're someone like me who has the toughest time coming up with new ideas to do with your significant other, really kind of tap your friends for some cool stuff. Hey, Smokey told me about archery, and we've been really digging this wilderness archery spot over in, I don't know if it's Rockland or I forgot where it is. It's down in that direction. But I suck. I am so horrible with figuring out new things to do with the lady. I'm really bad at it. I try, and I just can't come up with shit. So tap your friends if you're someone like me. And Power Project fam, if you guys got some ideas, how about you just, DM the boy, or, post on the page on the Power Project Instagram. Just tag me, because your boy needs help. Well, and he's suffering.
And doing some different stuff here and there. Like, it's not always going to work out great. You're going to try it, and one person might have loved it and the other person might not. I know many couples that have, I know one guy in particular, he used to go fishing all the time, and his wife was like, I thought, and this is an older couple, and she's like, I thought, when as the kids got older that you would, cut back on that and that we would spend more time together. And he's like, well, I'm not stopping. Like, he's like, I really enjoy it. I really love it. And she's like, all right, well, I'm going with you. He's like, cool. And then she started going with him. She didn't like it at first, but then she liked it a lot. Even my brother-in-law had a similar situation where he likes to go camping a lot. And as their kids got a little older, the wife and the kids, so now it's a family thing, and he still goes camping here and there with some friends, because he's got like a motorcycle, and it's kind of it's a whole thing with the like a motorcycle, a bunch of people that like to ride motorcycles. But anyway, he gets his family together and does a lot of stuff like that. So sometimes it's just like being inclusive, saying, hey, like, you want to hit the gym with me? And it's like, well, I don't really like the gym. Well, maybe we should just try it, because we only did it like once or twice, hey, you want to come to yoga with me? Hey, you want to come to this with me, that with me? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't work, it's not a big deal. At least you learn more about each other,
Absolutely.
Yeah, how you doing with the archery?
Oh, I suck.
Yeah,
we suck.
Nice,
but it's fun.
It's hard,
like,
man.
But it's so fun, like, because we're just like, hitting a target or whatever, and it makes me want to get a bow. But the craziest thing about archery is, like, you would think that, like, when you're going and you're aiming at the target, you're actually aiming at the target, but you're not. It's like you have to aim down to the side, away from the target, and boom, it hits. It's
Right.
so non-intuitive to me.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
It made no sense.
Yeah,
but it's still.
When Casey had his here, dude, I was hooked on it. It was so much fun. It made me really want, like, I was like searching around trying to find a bow. Yeah. And then it just kind of faded away. But
that spot is also very inexpensive. Yeah. So, like, you can rent a bow for 20 minutes and rent a lane for 20 minutes. So it ends up being like, I think actually it might be even cheaper than that, because I think I paid $40 for an hour.
Did you guys have an instructor at all or anything?
The cool thing about this spot, Wilderness Archery, again, is that there was a lady there on our first day, and she's like, she was just supposed to give us our bows and let us hit the lanes. She was like, have you guys ever shot before? We were like, nope. And she just gave us a quick 10-minute tutorial, because like, it wasn't that busy.
Oh, that's cool.
So, like, or actually maybe 15 minutes. So we kind of got the rundown, so we didn't kill ourselves or anybody else.
I think that's something you can do with a significant other, is anything that you can learn together, like where neither one of you know that much about it. I think that can be pretty cool.
Yeah.
My wifey and I have done like some baking and stuff like that together. I mean, it's simple stuff, but it's like stuff that I don't know anything about, and she knows a little bit about. But yeah, it's fun, and like, I don't know, to see how, something comes out from someone else versus yourself. Like all my stuff came out like weird. Didn't look very good, but still worked. But yeah, we made like certain types of bread together and different things like that, and it's just different. It's fun. Like maybe it's something that you do it once and you both are like, yeah, I kind of dig it, and maybe you want to go back and do it all the time, and or maybe like us, we just did it like that one time, and you move on to try to figure something else out. But learning stuff together, I think, is pretty neat. Taking like a class or a course on something can be kind of cool.
And she was naturally much better at it than I was. So
are they just like recurve bows, or is it the ones that like we used to have here where it like locks into place?
I think it's a recurve bow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a recurve
that would be
bow.
hard.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was fun.
That shit's hard, dude.
Yeah. Did other people bring in their own bows and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
People got some sophisticated shit going on, right?
Yeah, man. People like, I saw this guy shooting, and I was just like, he could. Wow.
Yeah, he'll wreck you.
He would wreck me.
Yeah.
I could be running away, and he'd just be.
It's like, okay, Hawkeye, calm down.
Yeah, seriously. And it's so cool. It looks. I think it's such a fun thing to do. Like I really was like, I want to have a bow and shoot in my backyard, but that's not the best idea yet. I could hurt someone.
You get pretty good at like. I was not like nowhere near that, but like I was confident enough to go back there and just like tell everyone in the warehouse like, I'm shooting. Like, all right,
yeah,
just don't walk back here. But I would nail the target from 40 yards, or it's not 40 yards. Sorry, was it 40 yards? Whatever.
Yeah,
40 something.
That's like 35 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I would consistently. I never really like missed like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like,
what about throwing an axe? That was kind of cool too.
Ooh.
Yeah, not as big of a fan of that.
It's cool, but it's I don't. Yeah, it's cool.
I don't like the fact that it could bounce back and just
clobber you.
Yeah, not a fan. I am a fan of doing that in VR though. It's fucking sick when you throw an axe at a zombie's head.
Yeah.
Do you do it with the controller kind of thing?
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I can't wait for you to bring that in for us.
I know. So I checked out James Nestor's film.
Oh.
It's pretty sick.
Cool.
I would like to see an updated version of it because like it was from 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a long time in technology years.
Right.
So it's, leaps and bounds better now. But yeah, there were times where like I had to close my eyes because the motion was like getting pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to nope, and then regather myself and then keep watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're underwater. You're looking around there. It's a little jarring when a fucking like whale is like coming up at you. It's pretty sick.
I got another secret.
Uh-oh.
Let's hear it.
Mm-hmm. When you're lifting and shit doesn't feel right, do the same weight multiple times. If you're warming up and, you started out with the bar on a bench press, move the bar around a couple times, doesn't feel too bad. You try 95 pounds, doesn't feel too bad. You got 135 pounds on there, and your shoulders like, oh, fuck, or your body just doesn't feel right. You feel weak, whatever it might be. Do that same movement, do it a couple times, just say, all right, well, I'm going to just take my time. I'm going to do 3 sets of 10 of this. And sometimes it doesn't change. Sometimes nothing gets better.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you might have to pick a different exercise. You might have to modify the movement a little bit. But again, at least you learn like kind of what to do next. But for me, that's been really helpful. Sometimes it happens, probably happens more often on squats where it takes my knees a little bit longer time to get ready.
Yeah.
And so I'll do a plate like 2-3 times. I'll do 2 plates 2 or 3 times. And then everything feels usually okay enough from there. So that can be really helpful. Another thing I was thinking about is when I talked to Tom's dad yesterday about the carnivore diet and him losing 60 pounds, he was able to put things into terms that he was able to put things into terms that we sort of talk about, but he simplified them even further just because he's not like in it the way that we are. And it was really cool. So he said, and this is, I guess one of my secrets is like eat like a motherfucker, like eat a lot. Whenever you feel like your diet is tough or anything's hard about it, eat up, like eat a lot of fucking food, but stay within the diet, but eat up. And if you have to do that for 2 or 3 days, so what? Like we're playing a long game. This is not about trying to lose weight, for 1 week or 1 month or whatever. we're playing the long game. And so if you overeat for a few days, it's really not a huge problem. It's not a huge deal. You'll really recalibrate. You'll go back to normal. So Tom's dad said that week 1 of the carnivore diet, he ate like crazy. He's like, I track calories. He's like, I pay attention to what I'm eating. And he's like, I ate like 5,000 calories a day. He's like, I was packing food away.
But it was carnivore, right?
Yeah. He's still in the confines of the diet.
Mm-hmm.
He said week 2, his appetite adjusted to what he was trying to do, and he ate a lot less. He said week 3, his taste buds got used to primarily only eating meat and cutting out a lot of sweet stuff and all the other crap that he would normally eat. And he actually loved the taste of steak and eggs every single time he had it. And so the diet is building upon itself. And I think that these are things that people maybe don't notice or recognize. But, week 1, he just ate up because he knew the switch to only eating meat would have been difficult. And so he ate a surplus of calories. He noticed he also didn't gain weight at that time. Who the hell knows why? There could be multiple reasons why. Week 2, his appetite was like back to normal. So he ate less. He started to be on the road of like losing weight. And then on the 3rd week, his taste buds were like, hey man, this will not only taste good, but this is really good for us. So even his taste buds kind of got recalibrated as he was going through that process. And I found that to be really fascinating.
I love how he kept track of how things felt on a week-to-week basis. That in and of itself is something that would be not, and I'm not saying keeping track of your calories. I'm just meaning keeping track of how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Keeping track of what's going on with your taste buds, your cravings. Because that could be something that helps you navigate those waters and figure out what you should maybe try next.
There's another one that we don't talk about much, even though I don't think Nsima tracks really anything anymore. I don't track anything anymore, but I think we both did. I was never really that into food, like tracking food. Although I have practiced that before, so I had an understanding of it. But I did meticulously write down like what I did in workouts for a long time, probably 2-3 years at least.
Yeah. No, that's like, that shouldn't be like, that's something that a lot of people should be doing so that you can at least make sure you're making progress. If you're trying to get stronger, if you're trying to get bigger, you need to make sure that you haven't been doing the same exact weight without realizing for the past 8 weeks. You know what I mean? You should try to be building upon that and going a little bit heavier.
I think we should finish off with the secret of all secrets.
What's the secret of all secrets?
Wiping while standing up.
Yeah, buddy.
You guys are crazy.
No, man, it's the absolute.
Jessica
best
doesn't
way to go
believe me.
about
She's
things.
like, you want to fight me right now? I was like, no, I swear.
So hold on. A while back, not too long ago, Nsima, you had said that your girl likes to jump scare you in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So if you're wiping as she does that, are you just standing there with your pants down at your ankles and she scares you as you're like?
It's not like you're picturing. Like he doesn't stand on top of the toilet bowl and make a big scene of it.
Oh.
Yeah, just standing there. One hand is opening, the other hand is wiping. Like, I don't get how you people just sit there with I think it's maybe because
you got to
one
kind of
has
pry
a
it open.
Yeah, maybe if you don't
You
have
can
a
do
big
that
booty
sitting
like we
down.
have.
Yeah,
Not with this
can.
booty boy. Not with this butt. You really gotta, get into a good stance. Boom.
Man.
But then you end up probably like squatting down a little bit, right? To get in there.
It's like,
So why can't you just do that
slight
sitting down?
No, I'm not
Yes.
gonna take my hand and reach it underneath me while I'm sitting and wipe up to my. No, y'all
So
are
in
weird.
a public restroom where
Yes.
the stalls do have cracks and you can see through.
Enjoy the show.
Okay.
Enjoy the show.
Just pants down at the ankles, just like, hey, everybody.
Yes. Is what number one?
The weird thing is that Nsima goes out of the stall to do it. That's
Okay,
what makes
so
it strange.
You don't have to do that. I just like to do that because I'm a showman. But if you're over there looking through the crack of the stall, you have the problem, not me.
Agreed. But I'm just, maybe just being paranoid, worrying about people.
We just like to be
peeking through.
cleaner. If it's okay if you don't want to be as clean and you want to sit and do that, do your thing.
I just
Be dirty. That's
don't-
fine with me.
I don't
You need to get
understand
up
how.
in there.
I mean, I'm pretty good at getting up in there, sitting down,
Oh, if you say so.
especially with wipes and then that bidet.
Yeah.
Give myself
We're
a
gonna do some
colonic.
forensic testing.
Before we end, there is one more thing
Wait.
I'll mention.
But using a bidet, you have to sit down to technically wipe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh well, I don't. Well, with the bidet, I just don't wipe at all.
yeah.
That takes care of everything.
Okay, so if you have a bidet, then you'd say, I don't have a bidet. So we're talking about the majority of the population that's bidetless. Bidetless.
People in other
You
countries
bidetless
listen.
ass bitches.
Bidetless.
Oh, man.
Sorry, go ahead. You
Nah.
were saying.
Well, you know what? I think since we all probably have more secrets, we can save this for another episode. And we could just be The Secret Part 2 on another day.
Could be a documentary.
Could be. You've seen The Secret
The Secret Part 2.
Part 2.
Not The Secret number 2.
That works out pretty good.
Yeah,
I
it
still
does.
think you're crazy for standing.
That's okay.
Not crazy. I just don't get it. That's all.
It's all right. We all have our beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Belief system. Some people don't believe in baby wipes.
That's crazy to me.
My friend sent me an article a few months back, and he was like, read this, man. This is important. And it was about how this butt doctor apparently said that if you're wiping your butt with baby wipes, you're getting rid of bacteria that's
Oh.
beneficial for the anus. And I was just
Yeah.
like, nah, bro, you just want people to come in with diseases so that you have work.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't want us to be clean, so we have to come to you. That makes no sense.
I don't think it's like they're not antibacterial or whatever, are they? I mean, it's not like you're wiping your ass with an alcohol swab or
I mean, there
a
were probably.
Clorox wipe.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there would be something to be said about like literal like baby wipes for your baby if that was the case, right? Because
Mhm.
they probably need, all of the bacteria
right.
to grow and all that weird stuff.
It is a wet wipe. Like, what? I just want to get all of the doo-doo
Mhm.
off. And if you're telling me not to, you're weird.
Hey, bro, I figured out what your medical problem is. Your asshole's way too clean. Like, is that a real diagnosis? Right? Like,
Seriously, that's what the
you don't have enough spores growing out of your butthole.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to send it to both of you guys. If you guys ever want to just read something, I'm going to
I
send
hate
it to
these
both of
fucking
you.
people too about clogging up the sewer system and shit. I don't care about that. Jesus Christ. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean?
But buy flushable wipes, guys.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
they
yeah.
should all be flushable.
The-
right?
the
They
ones-
should, it should be outlawed to not
Yeah.
make them that way.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ones here they have like a picture of like a plumber. He has like a pipe wrench, and it's like plumber approved or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys noticed, but that plumber looks like Jose Canseco.
What? I forgot who he is.
Because he's
With,
like
the
holding
hat.
like a bat.
He looks exactly like a bat, and he is wearing a hat, and it looks like an old school A's like logo almost.
Oh, the football player.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm joking. Baseball player.
he played for
Whoa.
the Canadian Supersonics.
Hey, he's a handsome man. Looks like he's had a little bit of plastic, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
He would be fantastic for this show. It makes so much sense to have him on.
Okay, then we really got to cut that clip.
Why?
Because I just dissed Jose Canseco's face, and if we want him on the show, I don't want him thinking that
Oh no, I think it's okay.
he probably won't even hear this part, or he will. Who knows?
Well,
If you guys want to send us to Jose and maybe have him come on the show, that'd
He's
be
the
dope.
one who broke everything wide open.
mm-hmm.
He's the one who broke all the steroid stuff.
Balco.
Yeah, wide open
Yeah.
back in the day. Like all the baseball
Wow.
scandal and all
Mark
that. and
McGuire, Barry Bonds,
all that stuff, yeah.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Fun show.
We out of here?
I think so.
All right, take us on out of here, buddy.
I will. Again, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for checking out today's show. Thank you, everybody that was on the live chat. Really appreciate you guys checking in. Hopefully, you have the bell notifications on. I know sometimes that gets weird, so I still appreciate you guys being here. We talked about a little teaser for the newsletter. If you guys haven't done so, please subscribe to that. Links down in the description. And then as well as the link for the free Element Electrolyte Recharge Pack. It's just $5 shipping. You get 8 samples. There's no reason why you shouldn't do it. You should go hop over there right meow. Again, that's drinklmnt.com/power project. Please follow the podcast at Mark Bell's Power Project on Instagram, at MB Power Project on Twitter. My Instagram and Twitter is at I am Andrew Z. Nsima, where you at?
You know, seeing you do this makes me think we need some like element. Are they called carachas?
Uh,
I don't know. The
what are
things
they
that you
called?
shake.
Maracas, right?
Maracas.
Yeah.
We need some element maracas. Like,
It'd be
if-
sick, and then you can kind of twist it, and the top like is like a salt shaker.
Yeah. Shake it, shake it,
Pour
shake
it all
shake
over your nipples.
shake.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
whoa.
Huh?
Maybe some baby oil and
Boy, what?
Wait,
I
baby
don't know.
oil and salt? That
And
might get a
salt?
little gritty.
Sounds hot. Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube, and at Nsima Inyang on Twitter. Mark.
At Mark Smelly Bell. Strength is never weakness. Weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later. Bye.